Hi guys, this is Nikki, also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching December 18, 2020. It's the live Philippine market update. It's 7 days before Christmas. Let's begin. All right, so here's your portfolios. Your PSEI is now trading at 7,272 points, down 25 points. But actually, the market is very heavily bullish. You could see that the market is having a revenge trade on the travel sector with a lot of reopening themes actually catching up and going up further. You could see that the market value traded is 11.34 billion pesos. And so far, even if foreign net selling is 1.1 billion pesos, that's not enough to tame the retail investors who are actually buying up the Philippine market. Let's take a look at your index movers. Let's read that thoroughly for you. JG Summit is up 3% now, trading at about 73 pesos. Take note that that was about 67 pesos a week ago. Your URC is now trading at 160 pesos. Your Aboitiz Equity Ventures is 47.50. Your PLDT and Globe has rallied 13.71 and Globe is 2.1. Your MPI is 4.39. Aboitiz Power is 27.9. AGI has scrolled, but it's now at 11 pesos 6 centavos. SM Prime 37.9, San Miguel Corporation 138.8, ICT 124, FGen 28.2. Your Emperador is still at 10 bucks. So BPI is still at 82 bucks. DMC is at 6. Lushotan Group is at 14. Bloomberry is 8.6. Metrobank still below 50 at 49.6. Mega World is at 405, teetering at 4, 405, 410, 395. Your gold is now trading at 40 pesos 35 cents. That's something interesting that we should discuss. Pure Gold and Meralco. Pure Gold is now trading at 40 peso plus. Meralco is now trading at 281.6. Robinson's Land is at 21. Ayala Land is at 42. Robinson's Retail is at 66.25. Let's discuss these names that are not reopening but are actually these are your stay-at-home related names or essential names. Your Pure Golds, your Meralcos, your Robinson's Retail. Let's discuss why there's a sell-off and what's happening in the market. Security Bank is trading at 138.8. Jollibee is trading at 204. GT Cap is 636. Ayala Corp is 826. BDO is 112. SM is 1065. So the index, what you could see here actually mostly um, perhaps one of the biggest bargain opportunities that you can still see right now is to be a contrarian a little bit on getting a little bit of your pure golds here at about 40 plus level, getting some Robinson's Retail here at 66 all the way to 60 bucks, and your Meralco at 280 all the way to 270 bucks. We'll discuss these three names, but also more importantly, let's discuss the biggest winners of the day. The biggest winners of the day with volume, let's see. So your OPMB not included, even if its value trade is 54 million. As it just appears, disappears, the volume is not consistent. So let's take a look actually on the top traded names to be more to be with the real actively traded names in the market. Dito is now trading at 793. Now Corp is now trading at 5 bucks. You could see that the telecoms are actually going up again. Your Dito and Now combo continued higher, but the bigger win is actually Now Corp, given that it has slumbered for quite a while. I think a month already, been slumbering at that 450 area. It's only been now that it actually went up. Similarly, you've got your MRCNS and your PHA, MRC and FA, which were restructuring related names. PHA with Squid Pay, MRC with the renewable fronts, down a bit from 108 to 1 peso, 62 cents to 61 cents. Some profit taking happening on that move. Ascend still leading after hitting 6 bucks, now trading at 660, still trying to go up. You could see that what else? Your banks are not all not up. Like BDO, Metro Bank, and DPI are all like sleeping right now. This is important. Your Cebu Pacific, after hitting 51 yesterday, is now trading at 57, or really a reopening theme related name. So a very strong volume, as you could see, strong value traded on your Cebu pack, hitting the top 10 most actively traded names in the market today, 137 million pesos. Top 10 when it comes to activity of trades. Take note, yeah, so actually for the day, I think the Cebu Pacific has actually helped JG Summit move as well to 73. And even the URC continued higher as a laggard play, 150 to 160, now trading at 160. for your URC. So today, I'd guess the sectors that really flourish were your some reopening names that were really like Cebu Pacific, which was really battered down for quite a while. And actually, there might be opportunities in the sector like telecoms. However, this is such a short-term continuation. So probably not necessary. If you're not a short-term trader, probably not. For those non-short-term traders, it would actually be good to position on some names that are being sold down by the market, given that it's a potential reopening play. Example, as you could see, your Macro Asia is now trading at 7.5. Your Vista Land is trading at 4.83. This might actually be a good entry point. MAC at 7.5 and VLL at 4.8. Let's evaluate that. Okay, so let's take a look at the worst losers for the day. Okay, so in the worst losers, you are seeing some profit taking your PHA. I remit 16% down. So after like the ceiling, which was unsustainable, lots of selling as well, 23 million. What else are the most actively traded? Vista Land on the downside, 4.83. Let's take a look at that. Another downside move is your PXP, 12.48. Just correction because some profit taking on that 13 peso zone. BRN, also some correction here, 15 million, now trading at 1 peso. So these piso names are actually getting some take profits as well. Top gainers, let's take a look. On the top gainers, other than Now Corp, which is actually the company that woke up from slumber, what else has risen? Your ASEN, your Cebu Pacific, your Frutas continues higher from 175, now trading at 182. Your JG Summit, of course, and your Globe. So actually, your telecoms as a sector has been quite good today. Okay, so actually, let's just take a look at very fast look at some headlines. As you could see, you've got some advertisements on your Burger King for the plant-based Whopper. OFWs continue to increase their October remittances to their families. Some platforms to connect the farmers to consumers. That's good. Actually, in China, Pintuotuo does that. So maybe it might be possible that in the future, your Shopee and your Lazada can just connect the farmers to consumers. Actually, that has been happening already in Shopee Indonesia and Shopee Malaysia. So I remember that what country is famous for their fruit? Malaysia has also done, Malaysia is a durian eating country as well. So I think like I remember reading an article where in Malaysia, Shopee, some of the sellers were connecting their durian farmers to sell directly. Let me just be clear on that. Let me see if I'm correct. I remember reading that. Strong year for the durian. Malaysia sellers get a helping hand from Shopee. Yeah, so that was an article around June 2020. So actually, I think that SE, which is an awesome 10x pick, already up $40 to $200 this year, is actually still going to continue going, becoming the platform of choice, in my view, for several resellers, whether it be farmers or whatever. It's called the Shopee Fresh. So I do believe that the Philippine economy will actually pay more tribute to companies like Shopee, Sea Limited. That's why I do think that we would continue to hold our winners win. Okay, let's take a look at some news. All right, used car myths debunked with Carousel. Cebuana Loiler, trusted service now available at your fingertips. So actually, guys, Cebuana Loiler is remittance-related stuff, right? Cebuana from Home now offers complete end-to-end service from remittance, pawning, insurance, bills payment, and now delivery. So as you could see, a lot of the companies like Cebuana will suffer a big decline if they don't pivot their businesses, because all of the things that Cebuana can do, GCash can do. And for those who aren't in the know, GCash is actually funded by your Alibaba. So if they don't pivot, actually, in my view, all the things that Cebuana is doing now is not to thrive, but to survive. Because if they don't do this, they're gonna actually get eaten up by companies like either C Money, SE, C Limited has C Money. And with C Money, you probably can do remittances with $2 billion of funding just recently closed after a secondary share sale at $195. So a lot of the companies that are in the Philippine market are actually Southeast Asian giants. So GCash is Alibaba's Ant Financial. If Cebuana Luelier doesn't do this online platform fast, they're actually going to lose out. So far, what they have is more than 2,500 branches nationwide to provide that cash distribution format, a platform for the Filipinos and the OFW remittances to really handle that. So yes, they have gone a full 360-degree access to Cebuana Luelier's products and services, pawning, remittance, microinsurance, bills payment, and now soon delivery. So agree with this move of Cebuana from home. I know that Cebuana Luelier is not a stock that is listed in the market. However, in my view, these are the kind of stocks that actually should be listed in the market because the market in the Philippines should be showing a lot of digital transformation, and businesses that can cater to that should be the ones that are listed. Else, the Filipinos have nowhere to go but actually abroad. Let's take a look at the Philippine market. On the news front, you could see that the headlines in the Philippine market are all showing about the reopening. The fact that you could see that the headlines are all talking about, the headlines were actually talking about the fact that we have to wear the masks wherever we go, right? The face shields, etc. It is actually a sign that all of the world is actually looking forward to 2021 reopening, January 21, 23, etc. Talks to ease endless traffic, talks to have schools open already. And I want to show to you that that movement because, example, Wuhan virus, diba? It was called before Wuhan virus. I wanted you to know that here's what's happening in Wuhan already, because they were early in the lockdowns as well. This is a real snapshot. This is already the Wuhan residents that are already partying for their night out, for the night owls out there. So this is seen on Reuters. Reuters is saying outside, maskless party goers are spilling onto the streets, smoking, playing street games, toy machine guns, balloons. Nightlife in Wuhan is back in full swing, 7 months after the company lifted its lockdown on February 6. On June 2. Lifted its lockdown February 6, actually. So actually, these are even some old pictures, but this is December 17, 2020. The revival of the city's nightlife is a hard rebound. This is what you call a V-shaped reversal. Wuhan has not reported a new locally transmitted disease since May 10, after undergoing one of the strictest lockdowns worldwide on May 6. Despite the thriving night scene, the surge in business and restaurant owners say that it could still be some time before the surge in turnover makes up for massive losses during the lockdown. Never forget, but afford to forgive. Wuhan is the epicenter of all the muck the world faced whole year long. While people suffered, the country didn't even disclose, accept, or take remedial actions to curb the disease. Rather, the authorities let the spread be. So I'm not saying that that we should just party on, but I'm telling you that the world is actually very much prepared onto this reopening rally, and that is why this movement of Cebu Pacific today is not, in my view, an aberration. In fact, it is a laggard move because most of the companies abroad have already gone nearing all-time highs. Let me show to you a few names in the US. This is Live Nation. Let me just show that to you. Live Nation is actually the leader when it comes to concerts, nightlife, and entertainment scene. And as you could see, after dropping from 75 to 25, this is a V-shaped rally back to 75. Why am I showing this to you? Because the Philippine market is actually a laggard. Although it will benefit on the reopening theme, you could see that as early as, Cebu Pacific, we were harping on and on again that it should rally to as high as 70 pesos. Even until now, Cebu Pacific is still just at 51 to 57. So even at 57, can it go to 71? My admission is that this is just really still too slow. You should already be at 71 by now. So wait it out. If you have your Cebu Pacifics, we did say that the best way for you to get a free trip to Japan was not to book a ticket in Cebu Pacific, but to actually book a stock in Cebu Pacific and get that free money from the market itself to pay for your SEB shares. kept on harping that idea, shared it on all my, all my media channels, and it was being echoed by all of our Awesome 10X inner circle clients as well. So I remember saying that on and on again, that for many rounds already, March 25, SEB bottomed at 38, target 65, rebound potential 80%. I prefer buying the worst names on planet Earth. So actually, there's just so much reasons to be bullish on the worst names of the sector. And it should be clear that SEB Pacific is actually one of the worst names that got badly hit and should be the worst, and also the worst will be the best for the next year, meaning your 38s will go to 75 or 70 or 65 come next year. That upside is still there for you to take into consideration. What else is happening? You did say, yeah, so actually retailers, and just wanted to share a few ideas as well, no? December 16, 2020, published in CNBC, by these REITs as Singapore eases the COVID measures further, says a major Asian bank. People are wearing protective masks, entering a mall in Singapore's office shopping district, Orchard Road. Singapore is planning to relax further the COVID-related curbs in the coming weeks, and this could boost several share prices of real estate trusts in the city. So Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong announced that the limits on public gatherings will be loosened starting December 28, after the country has already approved the Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID vaccine. And actually, ever since that Pfizer play on that November, that actually spurred this entire movement of the Philippine market. If you'll notice, the entire Philippine market has rallied on the back of that Pfizer news. And actually, that was the reason why your Philippine stock index broke above your 6,000 all the way to 7,200. And we are still in the middle of that 20% rally that is being sustained primarily because of that COVID vaccine. So anywhere from November till December, if you bought a lot of reopening themes, you would have made an easy 20% money. But if you had been betting on the right names, it was an easy 100%. So you could see that although this was October 19, the gap ups were happening actually around November plus. From November 6.3 all the way to 7.4, that move of the index, which is because the index in the Philippines is a reopening theme. So take a look at, let me show to you some value-related names, the ones that have been happening ever since these COVID vaccine-related news. Take note that the COVID vaccine has been anticipated since June, July, and the June was reopening themes as well. But without a proper vaccine, of course, people wouldn't bet that people will actually travel in the world or ride taxis and so forth. But let me show to you the value names, not year to date, because year to date you could see that they're still down 50%. But take note at the 1 month move. We're talking about some companies hitting 100%. Your Nordstroms, your Turtle Beach. Actually, this is just 1 month. But if you take a look at these moves, this was moving 100%. Like Nordstrom went from something like 18, 17, 19, all the way to as high as 31 today. So you could see the same thing happening on your department stores like Macy's. This is what we were saying, that whether it be American Airlines, Delta Airlines, whether Cebu Pacific, that you deserve to make that 100% move. Take note, this is JWN, this is a Nordstrom, from about 16 all the way to 32. That is a 100% move since that COVID vaccine in November. Take note what happened as well in your Macy's. Also rallied from 7 to 11. 7 went to 12, now at $10. But I do think that it goes to 11 and 12 as well. Also a double. Take note what happened for your essential, non-essential products like your toys. Yes, there's a holiday season move as well. Funko has already gone from 7 to 12. Your Disney's has already gone up from 125 to 175. But could even go to 250, given that, of course, next year, all your theme parks are going to be packed and brimming with a lot of customers. Not only that, Disney had one of the best streaming-related subscriptions way ahead of their target, actually 4 years ahead of their target, such that this is actually something that we were so confident to average up upon. So actually, making money in the markets is related to just having conviction that you are right, and you should hold on to your winners because winners win. And And so I do think that worldwide, let's take a look at some REITs. And why am I talking about some REITs? I understand that some people are also selling the REITs. Take note that there are people who actually believe that some brokers believe that, you know, these couple REITs, these Suntec REITs at 120 and 90 cents should be sold because of the deterioration of their weak fundamentals. Because at the end of the day, these are office spaces, these are shopping mall REITs. So actually, I do think that how you should understand REITs as a sector is that it is not quite a buy on any price, but neither is it a sell on any price. Basically, you could clearly see that it is a range. Let me just show you a few things happening on the REIT space. Example, Keppel REIT. Keppel is more on the office and shopping. Who is Keppel REIT? This is a Singapore real estate investment trust, one of Asia's leading REITs under the management of Singapore. You've got the Keppel REITs, the Suntec REITs. I think Keppel is most known for their office spaces. So when you are buying real estate investment trusts, because the Filipinos here don't have any idea about REITs, I figured that I should share some ideas for you about these REITs that are coming out. So take a look at the upcoming Double Dragon REIT. All right, so let's see what this Double Dragon REIT is all about. It says here that, okay, let's increase the text so that you could see it more carefully. Let's just let it become big. Okay, so this is the Double Dragon Meridian Park Development Corp. This is a REIT established in the Philippines. It got started around 2014, around 6 years ago. This company will operate as a competitive investment return for investors for producing a secure and growing income. The primary investment strategy is to invest in income-generating real estate properties meeting a select set of criteria. What are these criteria? Number one, it has to be located in a prime location, either Metro Manila or other key provinces in the Philippines, primarily but not exclusively focused on grade A commercial properties, including industrial properties. Guys, industrial properties, what they mean with that is warehouse leasing to e-commerce companies like a Shopee or a Lazada and so forth. Maybe other types of real estate properties available in the market to have stable occupancy, tenancy, and income operations. Please see the section entitled Business Strategies, Business Properties, and Investment Policy in this REIT plan. So far, this REIT of Double Dragon is saying that it's the company's flagship project in Metro Manila. It's already located on the corner of Main Road, Macapagal Avenue, and the extension in Rojas Boulevard. For those who aren't in the know, Double Dragon Meridian Park is just across the Mall of Asia, SM's Mall of Asia, and it's the Bay Area of Metro Manila. So Double Dragon Meridian Park is being developed as an office-led mixed-use development. The land on which these respective buildings are built to form part of the company's asset portfolio and is owned by the company. So Double Dragon is a 11-story tower with retail area on the ground floor, parking on 2nd to 3rd levels. They have BPO offices from the 5th to the 11th level, approximately 139,000 gross leasable area, with a retail space of 11,000 square meters of gross leasable area dedicated to established food concepts, basic services, supermarket, and themed food hall. Indeed, they also have 1,946 parking spaces. They have started their operation since 2017. Take note too that Double Dragon Center East is a commercial property in Double Dragon Meridian Park consisting of an 11-story tower with a retail area on the ground floor, a park in the basement and second levels, offices from the 3rd to the 11th levels. Double Dragon Center East has 16,000 square meters of gross leasable area. They've got a gross floor retail area of 1,000 square meters for established food concepts and parks. As you could see, they handle a lot of commercial spaces and usually office BPOs. Primarily, if you take note of the area, this area is heavily catering to the POGOs, the Chinese POGOs, but also the BPOs in that area. Double Dragon Center West is a commercial property consisting of 11 stories, the same thing. You've got 3rd to 11th level, approximately 16,800 square meters, commenced full operations in 2019. So it's 4 towers, right? The company owns the land where Double Dragon Tower and Ascot Double Dragon Meridian Park are currently being constructed and has leased these properties. And these properties are also including the land where such properties are being constructed to DD Tower and DDMP Service Residences, respectively, pursuant to contracts of lease, each dated November 19, 2020. The company believes that the offering is sharing the following benefits. You've got a stable yield, you've got opportunity for gross revenue, a net operating income growth, you've got the high quality property of a strong tenant demand, support of an established property developer, and as experienced management to handle that gross revenue and net operating income. They will distribute 90% of the company's total distributable income. Take note that all the REITs are required to distribute at least 90%, and that is the reason why REITs are constructed to basically get that stable dividend yield. So take note about the structure. Let's read the structure. It's a corporation organized under the laws of the Philippines. The sponsor is a real estate company in the Philippines engaged in the ownership, operation, and the portfolio of leasable rights. As such, the company benefits from the well-established reputation. So far, 70% of the sponsors' common shares were held by InJap Investments and Honeystar Holdings, 30%. These were held publicly, 16% were held by foreign owners. So basically, 30% public, tama ba? Sorry. 69% is Honeystar. Among the 29% held publicly, 16% of that is held by foreign ownership. So you've got 13% local. So basically, a lot of the DDMP REITs are going to be held primarily by the Double Dragon sponsors. Okay, so the fund manager DDMP REIT will be the fund manager on November 19, 2020. The agreement is that the responsibility is simply to manage the asset and liabilities for the shareholders. They will manage the assets to get that steady rental income over time, and they want to enhance the returns of the investment by distributing to the shareholders if the dividends can actually grow over time. So basically, it's a stable rent, but if the rental yield occupancy goes up from vacant to occupied, then you've got more dividends to distribute. So it's really more of the occupancy at the end of the day, as with all REITs. And you could see that they are doing this. This is the DDMP REIT. You've got Double Dragon Property, 70%, Spouses Yuhui Cost, 30%. DDMP REIT, you've got a fund management fee on the fund manager. You've got a long-term revenue. You've got ownership of the land and the property, such that if the land essentially appreciates over time, then you can get a benefit if they want to sell that land in the future, maybe after 20 years or maybe 40 years from now, no matter what. The DDMP REIT will distribute that dividends for you yearly. You've got a 99-year lease over the asset on DD Tower and DDMP Service Residences. So this operational structure is seen as this diagram here. You can read that more thoroughly for yourselves. Okay, let's see what is happening in this strengths. All right, they're saying that the strength is that they are the owners of Mary Mart. InJap is also a controlling shareholder of Jollibee. Take note that these are notable listed companies. Therefore, InJap SIA is a person who people can trust with a real estate management capability as well. So these people have seen share prices, for instance, also increase over time, which tells you that the DDMP REIT has a track record of growing your money over time. The sponsor has enjoyed this strong track record, and take note that the growth in recurring revenue from 2013 to 2019 has been growing for the Double Dragon shares. So the office development leasing business consisted of Double Dragon Meridian Park and Jollibee Tower. And so who is Jollibee Tower? Jollibee Tower is a grade A 41-story commercial and office tower situated in the heart of Ortigas Central Business District in Metro Manila. The project was completed 2019, a venture between sponsored Double Dragon and Jollibee, serving as the building's anchor tenant. In addition, with Double Dragon Meridian Park and Jollibee Tower, they also own the Sky Suites Tower, comprising two towers, including an office tower, which is currently being leased to tenants. So this is an important initiative because as the sponsor moves forward, they want to expand in office, retail, hotel, and industrial properties. However, if the opportunity arises, DDMP may also explore other types of real estate properties available in the market. As you could see, what this REIT is promising to show you is that not only will they exercise the judgment of giving you some strong dividend yield there, but they want to also explore other types of arenas of perhaps owning land and owning some attractive grade A buildings, which will be housed under the DDMP REIT structure. So they said that these are the BPOs that are happening in the Philippines. Take note that if you are bullish in the BPO sector, you could of course own the equity, but you could also own the REITs because both will give you that same exposure. And not just Double Dragon. You could notice that your Philinvest land is the same thing. Your Mega World is also an exposure to the BPO market. A lot of office spaces, right? Robinson's Land is the same thing. SM Prime is your malls. And so I think that it just tells you, it tells you, the DDMP REIT tells you about the Philippine property as a sector, not necessarily just them. This is about the Philippine properties as a sector. If you want to own the properties as a sector, this is one way to actually do that. So it's more of course, this is a 400 plus pages report. You can actually read that, or we can just browse through it. So let's see. They're talking about the Double Dragon Plaza, Center East West. This is the Ascot Double Dragon Meridian Park, the Double Dragon Tower. So these are what you are getting in the DDMP REITs. So Double Dragon Plaza, 2017, 2019, 2019. For those who are wanting diversification, take note that the REITs in general look something like this. Okay, I'm gonna share to you like existing REITs that are already out in the market. So from 2014 to 2020, the Keppel REITs went from 85 cents low to $1.30. Meaning, if the price was at $1, your downside is probably 15 cents, but your upside is 30%. So that is how the stock will move. However, of course, within that time frame, you were receiving an easy 5 to 6% while you are sleeping. So the allure of REITs is not about making money overnight. The allure of REITs has always been making money over time just by sleeping or on it. So I'll admit that the DD REITs are just really a diversification format. It has nothing to do with making your money grow a lot. As you could see, it is very much capped. You've got a downside capped, but you've got your upside capped. However, as you'll notice, even during the market's downfall, example, during the pandemic, $1.30 fell 85 cents, quickly went back into $1.01. So as you could see, it looks to me that the people who got in at $1, they would sell it at $1.30, and then if it's going down below $1, they probably will accumulate. So that's also happening, if you'll notice, in the Philippine market, despite REIT initially getting thrown down. Because in the Philippines, most people don't understand REITs. And so they probably had high expectations with REITs, and they didn't know what was happening on it. I think the REIT was priced about 28, right? So initially it was even below that, so 24. However, it is normal to assume that these can also be capped. So while it can go higher, maybe it can go to 31, I do think that it is very clear that when it comes to REITs, you don't make a lot of money, neither do you lose money either. So I would think that some people are just holding to their REITs to sell it when it's up 10, 20%, but to also buy it if it ever goes down 20% lower. So actually, in the next 5 to 10 years, you should assume that your REIT or your DDMP REITs are really going to trade similar to your Keppel REITs. A very, very defined range. It's very defined such that whether it's the Keppel REIT or the Suntech REITs, let me show to you the REITs worldwide, no, so that you just have an idea. Because the more developed REITs have been happening in Singapore. So these has become a replacement for the bond investors who usually typically get a 5% yield on their bonds, and they don't want to take any risk. So actually, the REITs were created for these types of investors And you'll notice that the Suntech REIT has always had just a simple range. It will always go down 140, and then if it goes up only to $2 to Singapore. This year was of course a REIT hemorrhage because you've got the office spaces and shopping malls. Basically, most of them were vacant, no occupancy, right? So from $2 fell down to $1, now back to $1.50. Chances are these REITs are continuing to be neutral investments. When you say neutral, it's not a very strong name, but it's just defensive. And talking about defensiveness, we argue, and I will argue that in terms of defensiveness, guys, what could be a defensive name today, which is actually being thrown down by the market, is actually pure gold. Even if you tell me that we will reopen soon and that most people will not hoard their supermarkets anymore, take note that in the last 7 years, Pure Gold was not just a growth story. It was actually a very defensive company. Given that, yes, from 10 here, around 11, 12 pesos here, has rallied to $50. And in the last maybe 7 years, this company has done nothing from about 30 peso to 50 peso. So it was always in a range. However, during the COVID time, people were so scared such that they lost their minds in the pandemic that they sold even a company that benefited from the pandemic, because out of all the companies that will benefit, of course, the company that benefits is the most resilient company, which is your pure gold supermarkets, or even your companies like, some people think that Mary Mart was an essential good. SM, although SM is too big, such that even if you wanted to play the SM supermarket, you couldn't. So actually, it's an aberration even that Mrs. G was losing money, because the problem with Mrs. G was that they were losing money on the department store front, not necessarily on the supermarkets. But you'll notice that Mrs. G has already rebounded from 130 as well, currently trading at about 171, but still below the highs of about $2, 2 pesos last couple of years ago, right? In fact, Metro Retail Gaisano had an IPO, if I recall, with about 3.99 or 4 pesos, still significantly more than 50% down. And when it comes to IPOs that are actually significantly down, let me just explain. I keep on reiterating that SSI here at 170, people might have forgotten. Yes, the IPO was $7, 7 peso 50 cents. It might never reach 7 peso 50 cents, given that this COVID world showed you the retail apocalypse, meaning you have to be on the non-brick mortar retailers, you had to be in the online shopping space, you had to be in the e-commerce direct to consumer space. And why I'm saying ever since that here at 120 that it was a buying opportunity, and I continue to reiterate buys that even at 170 or 167 that it is still a buy. The reason is because SSI has changed for the better over the last maybe 3 years. As you'll notice, SSI has done nothing but close down their brick and mortar underperforming stores, and they've transitioned not just into the brick and mortar retailer of apparel and clothing, given that apparel and clothing can be bought simply through Shopee and Lazada. They actually transitioned so well in the e-commerce front that they have this SSI Live, they've got the roostans.com.ph, they've got actually available entities wherein you can shop all of your goods for your holiday season online, and they can deliver it for you as well. So with a company that's actually, in my view, a multi-decade transformation move, well, maybe not multi-decade, let's talk about maybe a 3 to 5 year transformation move. I do think that this is a story that can be told for the next 5 years, that from 1 peso, can it go to 3 or 4 or 5 pesos? If Roostans can really pivot, I do see that SSI can do what Bed Bath & Beyond is trying to be doing in the USA. Bed Bath & Beyond also suffered a lot. So actually, this company needed to have some superstar CEOs to get through through their very bad state. Take note that it was gonna be bankrupt from $80 to $4. And actually, this transition to about 19 to 20, we argue that the transition team came from the CEO of Target. So I do believe that we are seeing a transitional formation, a reversal move on SSI. That's also the same thing which I'm seeing on Bed Bath & Beyond. So actually, I've been discussing these companies in the Awesome 10X inner circle. So we have these names actually, guys. Just wanted to share to you some ideas. And yeah, so let me now get to your commentary and questions. Maxis and SSI, ma'am. So SSI already answered. I think SSI is in a transitional format. And so at 167, continue to hold on to it. And if you don't have it, it's a buy. Maxis at 7.9 today is an interesting entry because in my view, all of the restaurants in the Philippines will actually get their rebound moves next 3 years. Actually, it will happen. The alpha move will come from these restaurant sectors. So let's not pin our hopes that this goes to 16, but even at 12, take note that even if Maxis just jumps back to 12, no? And why 12? That is the median of the last maybe 2 years ago. Can Maxis recover back to pre-pandemic levels? My answer is yes. Give it time. Maybe another 6 to 12 months. Maxis will show dramatic improvements in their sales revenues as the Philippine market also starts to reopen in a more safer way. And so any drops of Maxis from 790 all the way to 650, please keep it in mind that these are the companies that you will actually see a resurgence, a revenge move. And these are what I call my Popoy Basha names. Recall this, I call them my carnage stocks. Carnage stocks, medium. I discussed a lot of these in the US, the Donzi era and the carnage stocks, but I also discussed a lot of this in the Philippine sector. And you could see that here, Philippine edition by the Carnage. So from an early perspective, I've always argued early March that the best rewards in life is when you lose one and you win 17. And I need to discuss that we do live in extraordinary times. I said that in March, I said that in June, I still say it even on December. Of course, during that time, liquidation phase spelled super bargains. Pizza, Shakey's, Max's, Jollibee, PLC, Bloomberry, casinos and restaurants. But I also said airlines as well, just not here in the article. You could see that Shakey's Pizza 450 to 5. Shakey's Pizza is now trading at $8. But actually, if you think about it thoroughly, 7 is not just the only target, right? That's why it's 8. It can even go to 10 or 12. Similarly, Max is at 8. You've got that resistance of you because the people who got in at 420, they want to take their money off 100%. But in my view, as you know, you could make more than 100%. In fact, after Jollibee broke through the 135, we actually said that, hey, this can go higher even further to even 220. And so, yeah, so actually it was more of a bargain opportunity more than anything. And even for your Bloomberries and your PLCs. Your PLCs at that time was trading at 26 cents, thought that it will go to 45 cents or a 70% upside. Called it a bear market rally, but actually these bear market rallies will become more than bear market rallies. It will become all-time high reversals. Well, maybe not an all-time high reversal, but at the very least, a potential 52-week high reversal. So let me give you the playbook that's gonna happen on these carnage names. This is what's gonna happen. Your 2020 marks a February high of about 10.7 for your Maxes. Your January. That is your target upside. Around 10 to 12, we will reopen back to that 52-week high. And so even at 790, estimate your risk is just 650. Estimate your reward is at 12. Of course, the Bulls have this on their end. So the Bulls will win the Maxis battle. Similarly, let's take a look at your pizza. The fact that pizza is a takeout delivery play is actually going to tell you that pizza, out of all the restaurants, should be the first to go to 10. Whether you have a race, is Shakey's Pizza or is Maxis going to go first to 10? If this was a race, my bet is that Shakey's Pizza goes to 10 faster than Max's. However, just the same, because this $8, people are selling it at $8. You just wait it out. 8 goes to 7, you buy more. 8 goes to 10, you take profit. You still make that 25%. If you want to get some 25% in the next 6 months, your best bet, 25 to 50% gains, will probably come from companies like Shakey's Pizza and Max's as this reopening revenge move will happen. Not in the next 3 months, maybe it can happen in the next 6 months or even a year. But I do think that making 25 to 50% in a single year, buying and holding, is one of the best ways that you can make money while sitting on that chair of yours. Okay, so what else are we gonna discuss, guys? Let me see your questions. Okay, yeah, so Vistaland, let me just discuss the chart. Here at 4.8, I do think that Vistaland is a reopening theme because Vistaland will still signify a lot of your real estate sector. It is one of the hardest hit as well. In my view, the service area, the hospitality industry, so services meaning the restaurants, hospitality meaning your casinos, your Cebu Pacifics, your airlines. And although I think that real estate is a sector that is very hard to recover, I'll be honest, how many people can actually afford to buy a real estate when they just lost their job? Let's say Visalan has OFWs and they really needed that OFW to pay for the payments, right? If that OFW lost their job, it is very hard to actually commit into buying and paying for those loans or those payments. But in a way, I do think that over time, the OFWs will recover, they'll bounce back. And so the people, sorry guys, let me stop this. This chart is wrong. Okay. And so in my view, guys, if you bought your Visalans at 450 or even today at 480, do understand that even at 480, this has more reward rather than risk. The reward is that probably this goes to about, even let's say just 550. Let's say it doesn't even go to 6 or 7, no? Even if it just goes to 550, you still have that upside. Nonetheless, 550, 480, maybe it's just 20% upside. That's why some people are willing to just choose other names. Kasi some people might get 50% or 100% names in other names that they believe in. Yeah, so I forgot to say this. Hindi ako nakapag-finish. Sorry, I jumped in a different sector kagad. Pure Gold is a stable name. And so in my view, any drops, even if you bought today at 40.8, let's say you were buying at 42, I do think that these drops, you can actually buy these. Actually, it's not a knife to me if you know the risks and the rewards. The risk is that it just goes to 40 or 38. Even if it goes to 30 bucks, I think that we will be all the more happy to just buy more of it. Like super get a truckload of it if it even falls there. Because we do not believe that even if the market reopened, that you will not stop buying from SNR and your Pure Gold supermarket. People in the Philippines shop here approximately 150 billion pesos of sales. We're talking about $3 billion. So let's take a look at the sales of Pure Gold, okay? Pure Gold sales revenues. Over time, Pure Gold has been growing their sales growth approximately 9 to 10%. And so among the companies that are really, really cheap, being sold down inappropriately in the market is actually this company. Sales revenues have grown from 100 billion pesos to 150 billion pesos over the last 5 years. Even if this year, 2020, I think Pure Gold managed to just have 10% growth in sales. Take note that that means that this company is growing in miles and miles when it comes to cash flows. And so anyone stupid to sell your Pure Golds at 40 pesos 35 cents should actually be taken advantage of. And if they lost money, then they deserve it. Why? Because they're selling a company that's so important in the Philippine economy. Okay, so that's actually a strong buying area. Pure Gold today at 40.35 is a no-brainer stock pick, guys. Okay, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm up 100% on ASEN. Pacific is up na rin just by following Awesome 10X picks. Thank you very much. That is really what Awesome 10X channel is made for. Awesome 10X here believes that making money is not about being a rocket scientist. It's just simply about not being stupid. When an opportunity comes and you have money, you grab it. So thank you for listening as well. MAXS, SSI, PLC, these should continue to be held because the upside is greater than the downside. Let's assume that it goes down 10% next week or next month. Should you care? No. Because if it goes down 10% next week or next month, you should actually be more bullish that you could buy some maxes at 7.5 or $7, 7 peso, and buy more SSI if it falls further. And we actually encourage more Filipinos to be saving and saving their money and investing it, whether in the Philippines or worldwide. Because I think the Philippine market, the Filipinos in general, their problem has been they've got money, they put it in the bank, or they even delve into scams. That's the bad thing. Why will you put it in scams when you can invest your money, do it yourself? 'Di ba? I know it's 1 hour na pala, guys. So I know that you guys have a lot of questions, but let me just answer a few names. This is the first time that I have heard someone discuss what to expect with REITs, said Isa. Yes, so I had to tell you the expectation on REITs. It's because maybe you wanted to buy the REIT expecting 50, 100% gains. But I think that it should be clear that, look, you won't lose your money. Let's say I put 100,000 pesos in a REIT. If I lost 10%, I'm going to probably just buy more. If it goes down 10% on the first day. At the same time, if it goes up 10%, well, what do you expect? It's a REIT. I mean, should you expect a 50% jump because it's a REIT? It's a REIT, guys, a real estate investment trust. Have your expectations fine. You'll make money, but if you lose money either, who cares? You buy more if it goes down 10%, 10, 15%. All the REITs in the world, they have a capped. It's capped. So actually, when Ayala REITs fell 25 bucks, I mean, look, it's now 30, right? I'm not saying that these people who got in at 25 are super happy, because at the end of the day, buying at 25, selling at 30, they made 20% their money. But if they bought simply a Cebu Pacific at 39, it's now at 57, it's gonna go 70 bucks. Gets? Meaning, you could, like example, okay, the DD REIT, right? But there's DMW trading at 6 bucks. And right now, 6 bucks is at 8.2, and it can even go to 9 or 10, because DMW is also a commercial grade building in where else but the same Bay Area, right? So Double Dragon and DMW, what's the similarity between these two names? They're laggards, they're in the Bay Area, their properties, and during that time, we said bargain hunt them, right? So that's the important thing. All right. So, hi, Miss Nikki. Any thoughts on Eastwest's new digital banking app? Look, in my view, all the banks in the world have to go digital. It's not about them to earn money. It's about survival, because the Filipinos and everyone in the world expects them to actually have a digital online platform to have these cash transactions available. Okay, guys, it's already late. I need to begin my my other classes. So let's just stop today. And I wanted to also invite you tomorrow. I have a I have a class tomorrow. It's not for free. You can see that I am a part of the Investa. They have this seminar 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'll be discussing how to make money while sleeping. So bukas na ang live webinar. I have a live webinar 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a 2-hour session. I'm going to tell you how to make money while sleeping using the awesome 10x system. So I wanted to share that so that we can see each other. But also, guys, we have a free Friday class today. Remember, every Friday is a free Friday class. You can just listen to me 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. later tonight, or you just watch me on anytime replay, right? Okay, so see you again tomorrow. See you again for tomorrow for the Investa webinar, and then see you later 5:30 p.m. and then see you again next week every single day. Monday, I think Monday I won't be here pala. Sorry guys. Monday I will have some absence. Tuesday I'll be there. All right. So thank you, and advance Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, share the channel.